Yeah, for the people listening, now it was raining like hell, and you had to walk a fuck ton under the rain.
Let's put it like that. I had an additional shower, so it's great for me. And maybe you can see it. The hair is not done, but it's at least wet. So
free shower.
A free shower, yeah. You have to think about all the electrical costs.
Yeah, man. Very German of you.
I mean, my Schwäbisch background is coming into play right now. So.
And so, yeah. If I promote this episode, I will say you're a vocal coach. I'm pretty sure you're many things at the same time. But
let's put it like that. I am an upcoming music teacher.
Yeah.
And as a side job, I try to coach some singers or aspiring singers to become better at their craft. I think that's more of a specific description of my current work. Because
you are actually really good at that, because we spent just one session and I felt I got like, I'm free. I know, I figured you explained me the things in such a way that after that, now I'm like, I'm a singer. Like, and before I was never daring to say that I'm a singer, and I was always not identifying myself as a singer. And now it's like, I am that. I don't know.
That's a good starting point.
I don't know what mental buttons you pressed, but you did. So,
I think when it comes to singing, the first thing is about observing the other person and think about what personally was a hindrance or a burden you had to overcome, and you can simply detect that when you have to work with other people. Way more easier.
What do you detect on me?
I thought that your voice had way more capacity that you were allowing yourself to showcase.
That's flattering. Thank you.
And I mean that, because when I think about what you are about to record and what you have in mind in terms of recording, I see big potential, at least. It's all about what you make out of it. That's a big
Thank you. But also, like, now that confidence that you're mentioning now that you see in me, now I feel it too on myself. And before I didn't, after our session.
But because you experienced it.
That was great.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you think about theory and practical approaches, theory is good about explaining things and describing things, but when it comes to actually doing the thing, you can feel it, you can experience the whole thing, and that makes a big difference, because I can tell you all about the anatomy and the physiology about things, but if you feel the difference when you approach one thing the wrong or the right way, it will make click.
But that's also my approach with teaching drums, because some days ago I was helping a friend, and he plays drums since a long time, and he wanted me to help him with double bass, right? But then I got with him, and I figured out that the wrong thing that he's doing was the posture of the drums. Like everything was very wrong, and I figured that out on my own also by trying stuff like positions and angles and stuff, and I realized, oriented to getting a good sound on drums, you have to put them in a certain position. Also, you have to put everything in a certain position to allow your muscles to not get tired. It's like, you can also put it in a very scientific way, but I try to help him, like, okay, dismantle the entire drum kit, and I told him, okay, the bench, make it higher, and now on your natural sitting position, that where your legs are, now we put the pedals according to that. Your legs are like that. Let's like make the drum kit around how you sit normally.
Yeah, because you prepare probably.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing in singing as well. You have to prepare mentally, physical as well. Like, how do you inhale? Yeah. How do you think about the note and what comes after the note? Like when you have a big note coming up or a sequence of notes, whatever. So this is all about the preparation mentally, but also physically.
Yeah, and it's also like going back to saying like chasing the feeling, right? Yeah. And for me, all of the hours of practicing drums, I was just chasing that feeling of doing the thing right. Like, how does it feel to play fast? How does it feel to play loud? How does it feel to play with groove and confidence? And you know all of those feelings. And I mean, vocals, like singing, is a very invisible thing. It's you don't see anything in front of you that will help you. It's playing blind, right? And the drums, of course, you see, but seeing doesn't really help you much, because at the end you're chasing feelings. How the bounce of the sticks feel, how the weight of the sticks, how, I don't know, the vibration of hitting goes through your bones, how your legs feel. The most complicated part, the kick, right? Because you're pushing a machine.
I could never do that. That's way too complex for me.
Well, but because you're doing this movement that you never do in your life. When you walk, when you jump, when you swim, you don't do anything that looks or feels like pressing a button.
That's another point.
But then I figured out, like, okay, but when you're waiting nervous, what do you do?
Yeah, okay, you start to have a tremor in the leg like that now.
Yeah, so that's it. It's like just being impatient. So that's
you're
the
always in a toilet rush at the moment. When you have to think about it. To play fast.
Yeah, shut up, come on.
That's a good picture, actually. No, but we have more or less similar approaches when it comes to creating an awareness about a feeling you chase, because when it comes to singing, I always think about caricature, like how it would sound when you think of being a little baby, or how you would sound as an old person, or whatever, like an opera singer or whatever, because it gives you more space to play, to don't think about yourself that much and just release a bit of the tension you have internally.
True.
And that helps a lot.
But also you're mentioning characters, right? And
exactly.
That activates the performer in you, and that allows you to wear invisible masks, right? But, okay, tell me, in what use does it have the picture yourself like a baby or an old person?
But first of all, you can create a complete different sound. I mean, when you think of like a baby crying, like whatever, a stupid sound, you don't think about a certain pitch. And singing is about having a specific pitch and a specific tone. If you don't think about it, you give yourself more allowance to do mistakes. You can always learn from mistakes, and you get a better understanding what it is to have a certain pitch at all. Because many people state, oh, I can't sing high because I'm a bass singer, I can't sing high notes. But out of the sudden, when they work with a complete different tone, they can achieve higher notes. Yeah. And that's basically the whole point of it. You think about a caricature, think about the sound you could potentially achieve. That's my imagination. And then from there we start to work on the vocal aesthetic at the end of the point, because it's a different approach. If you go for like, okay, I have to sing this frequency and I have to be aware that this muscle and this muscle is working in perfect harmony to have a healthy sound. If you make it too complicated, especially for aspiring singers, it won't work out. So instead of just going for a complete theoretical approach, I just try to mimic sounds they can easily adapt and reflect. And from there, it's just like trying to shape the tone. So whatever, when you have this little whiny whatever kind of sound, that's a starting point. And then with vowel modification and breathing, stamina, and the support of the diaphragm, all these little things, these will help to maintain the sound, which is the second aspect of singing. So you have the sound aesthetic, you have the support part of singing, and as well the amount of control and endurance throughout the song. These are the main pillars when it comes to singing in general.
Endurance in general is really, like, I can relate to it with double kick, for example, because like you can do a sudden burst of a couple notes here and there, but like playing a minute of, it's not for everyone, and it requires you to recall a different feeling. And I think in the endurance part, that's why I started to search to have lessons. Because on recordings, since I'm not playing often, I'm not touring and not having rehearsals, I'm just recording, and it's like once a month or once. It's like I allow myself to destroy my voice for the sake of sound, right? I get to the sound I want, but then the next 2 or 3 days I cannot sing again or something like that. But then I started to seek for lessons because, okay, I want to do this often as a thing. I see myself as a frontman, and I want to like have rehearsals continuously, have a tour, do this like seriously, right? And yeah,
And this is something which is extremely important when you want to start singing in first place. What is your goal? If you just want to have a funny hobby besides of a job or whatever, you won't have to think about vocal stamina and how you go for a specific vocal aesthetics and sound and timbre and texture, but you just want to have fun. And then it's okay to destroy your voice once or twice, because you won't need it for a long time. But as soon as you start to become a professional or aspire to become a professional, you have to think in a completely different way, because your whole life at some point might be surrounded by this topic of singing, and that makes complete different approaches necessary to maintain that.
I think I sent you a video of a singer, or you sent me. We have been exchanging a fuck ton of videos of singers.
That's
but
true.
One said in an interview that people ask why. I don't know who the fuck it was, but let's say a guy.
Whatever.
Yeah, and so the question was, why doesn't he scream so much live than like in the records? Yeah, of course, because in the records you can fuck yourself up and then go again at it next week. But since you have a tour, you have to perform every day. Come on, like people are paying tickets to see you, so you kind of bring it down a notch to survive to the next gig, right?
Especially when it comes to a complete tour in different cities, different timelines.
Not sleeping properly, not eating always good, and changing weather, exposing yourself more to more bacteria.
Exactly.
And maybe this applies also for singing, but I was helping a really good drummer. He plays incredibly good, but I was helping him out to reduce the amount of processing that he was doing to play those drums. So I was trying to like rewire his mental approach to drums.
And how did you achieve that?
I was observing him, what he was doing, and I was realizing he was memorizing every single note, and he didn't have much of theory. So and also he was playing to a click track and backing track, and so like the responsibility of drumming is like super high, keeping time, not fucking it up, remembering the parts.
Definitely.
Because like the amount of processing that goes to play coordinately and then thinking, it's really a lot. So I told him, you have 100 euros in your head and you're trying to do something that requires 120. So let's try to change the process you're going through so it requires you 70. Because in some gigs you're gonna be tired, in some gigs you're gonna be emotionally somewhere else, and at least you're not on the 100% of your capacities, but if you're on 80% of your capacities, you're still playing that 70%, right, that you require. And if one day you feel fucking euphoric and there's a full stadium, you still can't play to your 100%, right? And that was it. So we changed the philosophy of how he played, so it requires him less thinking. So that required him to learn some theory, because then theory is like running systems. It's like, this is an automation, because this is, yes, it's about knowing words instead of letters. Because when you read, you're not going through every letter that forms every word. You kind of see the shape of it and you assume. So you can read fast because of the shapes of the words.
True. Yeah, at some point you don't learn like this is the first note and the second note. You learn about motives and which motive is repeating itself. I mean, I play a bit of piano, so it's a similar thing. drums are more complicated, I guess, because you have to think about all 4 parts of the body. But in general, yeah, of course, at some point you don't think about certain notes, but more like sequences, motives, and variations of a certain sequence or motives. But it's interesting that you stated that you approach the 70% or 80% level. That's fascinating because it's basically the whole thing when I work with younger people as well. I have a high level I want to bring the people to. However, right before performances and whatever, of course, there are always ways to make it easier so they have a bit more relaxed approach to the whole thing. So there's a similarity.
I think also that my approach to practice and having rehearsals is in that moment, I allow myself to fuck up and I allow myself to chase something that I cannot do because maybe it sounds good and maybe I can do it. I experiment. I push myself and practice and rehearsals. But then in the last rehearsal before a gig, I just focus on not forgetting the song, on being the responsible drummer. And then it just depends on, I play on the 70%. And if I feel insecure or there's something wrong about the position of something or I feel sick, then I know what the bare minimum I have to do.
True.
And if I feel like more, and if I feel confident, like after the second or third song, then I go. I go a bit higher, but I will never play on my 100% because that's where you shake. That's where you're about to make a fool of yourself. And
that's true.
For me, it's performing. It's not. I mean, I'm not trying to chase perfectionism. I'm just trying to leave that for my private time, trying to expand my capacities, right? Because that's where you can make a fool of yourself.
That's true.
And then when people are seeing you or paying a ticket or it's a performance, so you want them to be proud of you and enjoy it and have a good time. And at the end, it's more about them. So if you're relaxed on your performance, you can help with your charisma to give people a good time.
That's one approach, definitely. I would, however, I would say that playing the 70% with the intensity of 150% makes it 100 at some point. So yeah, you can play the 70%, but you act like it's 150.
Yeah.
So it's all about the performance aspect in this case.
That's what people really love. And
they're self-confident because they know that they are able to do it anyway. So they can go for way more public interaction and whatever.
I saw a band live in Berlin, the band Haken. I loved the records and the videos and stuff, but I saw them live. I wanted to go somewhere else because it was very boring. They were playing all of the notes. They were playing incredible shit, but they were not moving. They were about to fall asleep, and I was about to fall asleep. The band before, Bang Knee, they were incredible, and I don't remember how they played. I just remember I had a good time with them.
Okay.
I don't think they missed a note or they missed. No, it was just awesome. I was buying beer. And they played the first couple chords. And I was like, I don't care because they were happy and jumping. And they were playing a very simple riff. The first song is like, but you can play that, or you can do like, and the second one will make everyone happier.
Definitely.
Even if you play out of tune, even if you fuck it up, and it's about...
Depending what kind of concert you're visiting at, of course. I mean, when you come for a classical concert and the notes are fucked up.
There's a difference on concerts that you attend sitting and standing. Where you go to concerts where you're sitting, perfection and the mind is more aware of that. Because again, now the audience has more brain capacity to observe and hear. But when people are standing and their body is moving, then part of that processing capacity goes to the body. So the mind is like, give me something to dance or to headbang to. So
Definitely. But it's interesting that depending what kind of music you approach, the characteristics are completely different, not only for the performer but also for the audience, and especially when it comes to the whole marketing of it.
True.
that's fascinating, to be honest, because at the end of the day, especially when it comes to metal musicians, they have so much background, not all, but many have so much classical background and are able to go for all crazy, what's the name of that? Like, not only major and minor, but all the church modes and stuff like that. It's fascinating. Like, they have their stuff right to the T of it, and it's really amazing. Yeah,
I wonder what's the relationship, because there's a very tight relationship between the whole academic concert orchestral stuff and metal.
Definitely.
But I wonder, really, I have to ask some musicologists around, like, why is that? Why is it that metalheads look up to like this type of concerts?
I mean, I think it has much to do about their personal upbringing and what they have been influenced by as a child or from whatever kind of peer group, let's call it like that. But yeah, of course, at some point pop music or regular music becomes boring, so you try to explore different things. And jazz, of course, especially when it comes to free jazz, is like a complete different lane. Or classical music when it comes to more like serial or atonality. Whatever kind of new modern classical music which gives more space to experiment with different sounds and more advanced chord progressions as well. And I think these could be like one of the two main pillars, like either jazz or whatever, blues.
Yeah, true.
Classical music. Also maybe complete other music cultures as well. I mean, when you think about the whole microtonality of Indian or Asian music in general, it's a completely different
polyrhythm.
Exactly. I mean, there you have it. There you can experiment and go for all different sounds, all different bars, soundscapes, and also have electronical tools you can enhance or destroy the sound aesthetic as well. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's also really interesting because you have many flavors of music, right? And how to play it and how to create it.
Definitely.
And in the last,
that's like everybody else.
In the last, in the last 20 years, the amount of options we have available for how to create the music are crazy.
Sure.
Let's go, let's travel in time where you could have like the church music and the folk music, and kind of the folk music is just transmitted by heart, like I don't know, think about flamenco. People get raised around flamenco and they get a guitar and they get like instructed and they live through it, so you get that like this, how you call it, ethereal ways, like souls speaking to each other. And then you have this science approach with what was like where the money was, right? Like churches and kingdoms and all of these musicians who were like getting the formula of all of it. And those were like the two ways, like you write music, someone performs it, or you just go with it and that's it. There was no recording, there was nothing like that. So like the ways of experiencing music was like maybe also like chorus or something like that.
Yeah, true.
That's like a third way. But then recording came on their way, and
that changed a lot.
Electric instruments, and then digital instruments, then sequencers, and now I mean there will be more to come, but I have the feeling that there's like a stagnation in the last couple years.
In terms of what exactly?
How much new shit is coming up?
I mean, you have the whole AI song concepts, which become more and more. Let's put it like that. It becomes harder to identify what is human and what is AI.
That's true. But I think what we have now is a very wide range of how to create a song when you're creating a song. Not AI, because AI is just typing something and the casino machine spits you out a song, and that's not creating for me. That's being lazy.
I mean, it can give you some interesting ideas which you can try to evaluate and
sure. I mean,
transfer.
At the end, all of the ideas we have on our own about making music, we are doing the same as the AI. We just have a library of things we've heard before, and then we try them out and we mix them up different. But I don't want to give away that to a machine. Come on. I want to have this stupid idea and also like exercising the part of the brain that has ideas connecting to it.
But do you think it's cheating when someone is not composing or creating a song, or only let's reframe the whole phrase, is it only real creation if you don't use any AI or any helping tools?
No. There's so many ways of cheating, or there's so many ways, again, of making music, because, I mean, many great artists, other people write the songs for them. So the whole creative part was done by someone else. And now that someone else could be a computer. So,
true to that.
I mean, entire careers of great performance were done based on covers, like Elvis. Come on. It was all songs from someone else. So the creative, the writing, the everything was done by someone else. So I think before it was even clearer that there was composers and performers and songwriters. Now we are all the thing. We're the producer, the mixing engineer, the performer, the marketing artist. We are fucking everything. We're the label. So now I think the AI will, in this new type of roles that we all have, like we have too many responsibilities now, and I think AI is a good way of giving away some of them. Like, okay, help me to build a plan to promote my song, and it gives you something.
That sounds like a good idea.
Hey, I want to do videos, but I only have a phone and I don't know anything about it. And then I think it can help. For me, it's like a research tool. It's like a Google on steroids that gets you quicker to answers, right? But at the beginning, I was using it a lot, shit ton. Then I got bored of it, and now I enjoy more to have the ideas and force myself, because mostly for writing, for example. I always considered myself very bad at writing because I was not doing it enough. Then I saw that ChatGPT was doing it great, but then I started to see the flaws, and then I was spending a lot of time correcting it. So then I realized, well, I know what my taste in writing is, so I should do it myself.
So how do you approach writing? Like, because that's an interesting topic in general, because many singers or aspiring singers who want to become songwriters as well don't think about how to write proper lyrics. And since you already have some experience when it comes to songwriting in general, what is your approach? Because that would be an interesting exchange point as well.
Yeah. Well, the thing that kicked it off was I saw a video of an interview of Robert Plant that he said that many people are asking him how he does it, and he said the most important thing is to have a life that requires hard work, waiting for a bus, waiting in the rain, like to experience all of the colors of life and be heartbroken and fall in love with the wrong person and experience all of that. The ideas were not be missing. And he was comparing it to like someone who was sent to a conservatorium since being a child into a rich family, like living in this super a life that is taken care of, right? Like a super bubble kind of life. And that person will very likely have less inspiration. So he said, yeah, I was a poor kid I don't know where he's from. London or something. England, right? England.
Let's say England.
A place where misery is very accessible, and he was
Wow. Mr. Platt, I hope you don't watch that.
No, but that was the point, and that kicked it off for me. So I said, like, okay, what are the things in my life that make me sad or happy, or what are the things I should put into words?
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't put them into words. I could put them into instrumentals. So I was always like making instrumentals about this idea.
Mm-hmm.
And once the instrumental was done, it was already telling most of it without any words. And then for me it was just the word, like putting the words into it was like completing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas for some other songs, first comes the written idea. And for me, it first has to make no sense. It's just phrases, right? For example, it's like journaling. You choose something you feel like you have to write about. Let's pick a topic: falling in love of someone that doesn't love you back.
Oh, okay.
Then you just write down like, I'm writing about someone who doesn't love me the way I love her, and it feels like shit. And then you start writing
like shit.
You just start writing about it, and then once you start peeling the onion, you will get to the core of like the deep thoughts. The poetry will come to you, and you have like a lot of phrases. And then for me, once you have peeled all of those superficial thoughts, you will get to the deep thing that talks to humanity. That is being you going through human stuff.
All right, okay.
And then you arrange that into whatever.
And that's the interesting part, how to rearrange the whole thing.
For me, it just already comes while I'm writing.
Okay, that's fascinating. I mean, okay, there's many different approaches to that, because I try to think about like songwriting or in general writing, when you have to write an essay or something, that of course you have like your brainstorming moment, you just write down words or phrases or whatever which have something to do with the topic. When you take, for instance, your idea like, okay, I love someone who doesn't love me back. Yeah, what does it make feel? How does it make me feel? That's the whole process of it. Then, of course, you can think about, okay, how other people approach the whole thing. That would be like a potential version for the second verse. Like, the first verse is about my personal opinion. The second verse is about, okay, how other people see the whole relationship or the potential relationship, which I imagine as a potential burden or whatever. And the third one is about a point of interest, like the person who is loved by the protagonist of the whole thing. Like, and this is already structuring the whole thing to a complete different level. Yep. And then you can think about, okay, how to arrange the wordings.
I mean, you can also think about it as a play, right? You can have two singers, and one is the woman.
Of course, yeah, that's another point of view, of course.
Sure. And there's so many ways, like, and that's the part where your style comes across. Like, how do you arrange that human experience? That happens to you, but it also happened to most people at one point. But how do you put it out on your own unique way? That's the whole thing.
What about the whole metric and the whole rhyme scheme of the whole thing? Like, when it comes to singing, of course, you can mostly compare it to some kind of poem. At some point,
I don't care about rhymes.
No.
Okay. I only know when it sounds very off. So like, I don't seek rhyme very often. But also, I think while I'm thinking of the things I say, they come out with some melody, because whatever you're saying, you can put it into a remix. Because whatever you say, you can put into a rhythm. Yeah?
True that.
Whatever you say, you can put into a song.
However, when it comes to singing the whole thing, it's a bit different, because depending what kind of words you're using, they are more accessible when it comes to singing a certain pitch or a certain tone.
Yeah.
And that's for instance why Taylor Swift, for instance, well, I'm not a Swiftie, but I appreciate that she became that successful. When you take her lyrics, they might not be the best, but it's easy for her to sing it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes a complete or not a complete, but at least a good songwriter, that you are able to write something which is easy to access. Because when you make the wordings way too complicated, too fast, too slow, too many...
Feels unnatural. Well, here's the thing. A friend of mine who doesn't understand Spanish,
Okay.
he just listened to the new album of Rosalia, and he ended up crying without understanding a single word. So, and also, this reminds me that some singers just have the melody and the chords, and they just tra-la-la it, and then start to let their mouth choose the words for them. And then you come up with words that maybe subconsciously those words that are coming up easily is your soul throwing you signals, right? And then you just have to autocomplete whatever is missing there, and that's it.
For sure.
Like, have you heard this story about Chop Suey with Rick Rubin?
Like how the original piece was about to be called? Or
No.
about
There's a part, they were recording the song and they didn't have any text for the middle part.
With this whole father.
Yeah.
Okay, this part.
And do you know the story?
I think, if I'm not wrong, like one of the singers grab a Bible and just randomly put
Open
a page,
a page.
and then this was the lyrics,
Yeah.
like a complete...
I mean, that's a very spiritual way of doing the whole thing, of just letting...
God's work do its way.
letting just the universe do the thing. Because I think...
And they call it devil's music, come on.
Yeah.
You have the...
Yeah, but that was a pure, let's say, coincidence. Or maybe if you don't believe in coincidences, there was something like the spiritual world channeled through you. And I think being an artist, either you're an interpret or a creator, like a composer, you're channeling something.
True.
And
Manifesting.
you
You manifest everything.
And sometimes those things are not even yours. You're just an antenna to whatever is in the subconscious, in the spiritual world, or whatever. So,
And I mean, it fits
I mean,
at the end of the day.
if you just grab a couple chords, you just throw your hands on the piano, and you start doing, you will start adjusting the shit out of whatever to please yourself with the sound you're about to do. You already are like, your subconscious is like, I don't like that, I don't feel like that. No, oh, I like that. And then you do that, and then you open your mouth, and then you say like, that like the color green doesn't match this sound, and then you say blue, and you know, like you just have to do the thing.
It would be really interesting to compare the styles of like composing or just creating lyrics in music. That would be interesting because we have certain things in common, definitely, but when it comes to the approach or the whole structuring of it, it's really interesting to see like how you do that and how I would do it. So that's interesting. Maybe at some point we can make a combination of like, okay, you document what you do, I document what I do, and then just compare and exchange ideas, because it would be helpful for many people.
That will be a cool,
hopefully at least.
That will be a cool challenge to pick a topic, kind of general rules, and then come up with 2 songs about the same thing.
That's an interesting idea.
I also like when
that.
you do the songs. The last time that I just told you that I lost your project.
Yes. I was like, that's no problem.
I just told you, like,
I didn't like it anyway.
Just do another song, and you started like out of nowhere doing this other song with no text, but you already have the melody, you already have the chord progression, you already have the feeling, and you already have the idea what the song is about. So like the text is just like completing the 5%.
True.
Because I mean, most of the people in the world who like English songs, they don't know English.
Well, that's not an hindrance for them.
No.
AI can do it.
AI can do it. But also now, like Spanish, like Latin American music is having a moment now in the world, and they're like it's like taking the stage. But I'm pretty sure that most of people who are consuming that, they don't know shit what they're saying. And for example, to me, I never pay attention to lyrics, and even of my favorite music, I don't care what the lyrics say. I know they're shooting words that I can understand, but I don't pay attention to them. And then
That's interesting.
in one
Okay.
point, I'm forced or pushed to think about the text. And then I'm like, oh, this song was about this? Wow. And it just... Music is music. And the text is just a part of it.
Fascinating. I mean, that's, I guess, the artistic approach of how to experience music, because when I have to work with certain people, my whole focus is about what they are doing lyrically, musically, vocally. So when I listen to music nowadays, it's more like, okay, analyzing the whole thing, the whole process. Okay, what is the wording? Why did they choose these words and whatever? It's a different approach. And maybe that's a bit sad, because at some point you don't... you appreciate, but you don't experience music in its raw form anymore, because you're constantly analyzing everything.
Well, there's this like gag of the teachers in school, like teaching you art or something, and it's like, but what did they mean by the door was red? And then they force you to think like, okay, maybe the door that is red meant death and bloodshed, and the artist was saying the door is red. So the interpretation and the analyzing goes for the consumer. You just put out there what's there on your heart, and you let the listener to do the work.
I mean, that's definitely for many artists the case. When it comes to specific artists, though, of course. I mean, let's go for name me some popular artists, because I just come with bad names. Like
I wanted to mention to you the Living La Vida Loca topic.
Ricky Martin.
Yeah, but
Okay.
like, you know what the song is about?
It's about the Loco Vida.
No,
No.
I mean, the song is also in English, and I always was like, yeah, Living La Vida Loca, party,
Okay.
whatever. And then once I paid attention, and it was about he met a girl, and she drugged him, and he had like a knockout something in his drink, and she did whatever she wanted to him.
Okay.
Did you pay attention to that?
No. But it's not my song. So it's
Yeah.
not my kind of song. I mean, it's good for a party, definitely. Yeah. Interesting. No, because one great example I had was when it comes to Ariana Grande, for instance. I mean, she's now really popular. Wicked. And there was one girl who wanted to attempt, I'm not sure which song, maybe Dangerous Woman, like something more sultry of her. And it was really interesting, because I heard the song before, and I know that at the end it's a bit higher and whatever. And I tried to get into her artistic arc. Like, why is she doing the songs like she's doing? What are her influences and so on and so forth? And it was interesting, because at some point I digged into her musical career and also her acting career, Nickelodeon, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it was so fascinating, because now it's a full circle moment, because she started off on Broadway, then she came to Nickelodeon and so on and so forth, and now she's having this whole back to the starting point on Broadway, or at least portraying one of Broadway's most beloved characters, at least for modern Broadway history. And that's how she got her voice. And it was interesting, because the student I worked with, she wanted to sound like her, because that's the whole thing. I want to sound like Ariana Grande. I want to sound like Sia. I want to sound like whatever.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I have a trauma about her.
Me too.
No, I mean,
I had a couple of clients coming to me like, yeah, I want to do like Billie Eilish. It's like, okay,
It's
the first one,
hard.
then the second one. Then
Let
third,
me
like
tell
everybody
you.
wants to do that thing.
but it's so hard. It's so hard. Because everybody's thinking like, okay, Billie Eilish, it's easy because it's quiet. It's so hard because it's so breathy. And when you have to sing the whole time in this breathy voice, and especially the high notes, it's hard. I mean, even she can't do it probably live, but it's a different story.
I mean, she's creating the songs on bits and pieces, just chilling.
She was. There are many interviews about how she actually records the songs, and it's common for her to go for like whatever 100, 200 takes of one note just to have the exact breath and the exact amount of husk in the voice she wants to have. She's a perfectionist when it comes to that, and I really appreciate that. However, when it comes to pulling that off live, sometimes it doesn't work. But it's okay. I mean, at least it's live. It's not playback or whatever.
That's the whole point of a live performance, that like every time you do it, it's different. Because of also all of those takes she does on the recording, they are all different. And at the end, she's just cutting the different bits of pieces of all of those difference to make a thing that sounds like one thing.
Definitely. And this is something because, I mean, Billie Eilish is an even better example than Ariana Grande. Yeah, it's the same thing. So how are you as a non-professional singer able to get to that texture of voice? And at some point, it's not realistic. You are able to sing maybe one or two songs like that, like studio quality. However, when it comes to like a full concert, you have to adjust your voice. And this is something I try to advise people when they're working with me. Sure, studio magic is amazing and it's a lot of work, especially when it comes to vocal layering and how to go for specific mixing and mastering elements. But doing the whole thing live is a completely different approach. And you also have to become aware, especially as a young singer, some singers are already older, more experienced, have a different anatomy. And then you have so many aspects that you can strive for the tone, but you won't duplicate it. And it's not great to duplicate it anyway, because you should be able to create your own person as an artist.
I wanted to say that the exercise of doing covers and trying to mimic whatever, characters or archetypes or performance or specific albums or something, is, for me, it's a good tool to know yourself.
Definitely.
To see how your physique reacts to different songs. And for me, I'm now trying to explore deep voice singing by trying to sing Woodkid.
That's why you post the whole songs. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense.
Because it's also because the songs were talking to me because of how I was feeling, like the things I was going through that moment. And I felt those songs spoke to me, and now I want to make like a version of 2 of those songs because of what they mean to me right now. I already knew those songs, but in a moment they click with you, and now I feel like, okay, how do I do? And then I'm exploring the relaxing type of thing. Like, okay, I can sing those notes or that pitch, but I sound like I'm sounding now. But he doesn't sound like that. He sounds more like relaxed, and he sounds more like from behind the nose. And that's a cool thing I can experiment, because also when you're recording yourself, like Billie Eilish, you are confronted to the thing and you listen to it. Like, no, that's not what I want. And then you do it again. And you listen. No, that's not what I wanted to achieve. And then you repeat. And that's the great thing of having recording. Because you can judge yourself and adjust and then do it again and then listen. But when you're doing things on real time, the moment is gone. When you're playing live or when you're practicing, if you're not recording yourself, that moment is gone and you will never be able to look at it. You can only observe the memory of how it felt.
I mean, of course, you can record the whole thing and observe it afterwards.
That's
see how you can,
but that's the point.
See what you can do better next time.
If you practice and film yourself, the progress will be crazy faster, because you will be like looking at it and you will rejoice on the things you nail, and you will be cringing on the things you're going to be failing at. For example,
and this is an ongoing work.
But that's in the karaoke. And the karaoke, I last time I filmed. And
I saw that.
Now I saw watching like that Take On Me video a couple times, and I rejoice on the couple things I nailed, and then I look at the things I fucked up that I don't like how I did, and it's like, next time I'm gonna avoid this, I'm gonna think of that, so next time I do it, I'm gonna do it different, because I was able to record it. If you don't record it, it's just gone.
Yeah, however, I would say that, especially when it comes to karaoke, I mean, that's the whole point of karaoke, because, I mean, you are also now experiencing the whole Monster Ronson's lifestyle. It's interesting. And I love the people. I mean, not normally...
Talk about, what's Monster Ronson? Monster
Ronson's.
Oh, Jet, yeah.
It's a karaoke bar in Berlin.
That sounds very simple. You're reducing it.
Describe it with your words, because I'm a regular.
You're part of it.
I'm a regular, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it would be unfair to describe it in my words.
Let me take some water before. Monster Ronson's is a karaoke bar. That's a simple thing to mention. But once you start going more than one time, you start to see some repeating faces. Mm-hmm. And once you dare to sing, like, the connection starts to happen. And you start to become part of Monster Ronson's. And I was there a couple times, and like on Saturdays, and I didn't feel it at all. I felt like this atmosphere was, I'm gonna put it into words. It was very queer to me. It was like there were like some, how is it called, drag queen stuff, and I felt not part of it. And also I went up to sing a song, and nobody gave a shit about my performing, and other people were more into that subculture, and they were not singing good, but people were cheering for them, and I felt like, I don't belong to this shit. And then I went on another day of the week, and I felt more welcomed. So I figured out, okay, so depending on the day you're going, it's the people you're gonna find, like the mixture of cultures. And then you told me to go on Mondays, and I went on Monday, and I didn't get it. Because you told me like the cabins were for free. So I thought, so we're going to spend the whole night in the cabin. And then you were fucking off. And everybody was coming in and out. I was like, dude, I came to spend time with you and you're fucking off. And what's the point? And no, that's the thing. You go around and you sing with different people, different songs. And so it's like a very intense session of bonding through music, and that's fucking great, because I like social occasions in which you do something. I'm not someone who just goes and watches other people or like just goes and talks to random people. But when there's like something, like someone sings a song, then I want to like say like, that was great, and wow, great song, or I like that band or something. And then you do that, and then what's your name? Cool. And then you see that person again, and then they see you, and it's like this social experience is the thing about that karaoke. And I guess there might be many other places like that, but now I fucking love it because of that. So it's a karaoke bar. And then I went there, and then I went to Spain. And I was searching for karaoke bars. And those were the best social moments I had over there, because I was going to a city that I was never before.
Okay.
And then I arrived to the karaoke, and there's this karaoke regulars mindset, and you sing a song, and then boom, you're talking to people. And yeah, it's a new world for me. I think that happens also like with different hobbies. Like, I know there's people who do this medieval stuff.
Yeah.
You have the medieval festivals.
Yeah, shout out to Aldo on this one. Corax and Co.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's interesting, because I discovered Monster Ronson's after basically after Corona, and I was really introverted at this point because everyone was social distant, whatever, and I felt I need something to release all the pressure and all these all the energy I caved within me. And it was it was on a Monday, because it was the most inexpensive day. So I was just like, okay, we'll just go for there. And at first I was like, oh shit, no. And then I was like, oh, they all can sing as well. Ooh, I don't want to make a fool out of myself, whatever. And then at some point, someone just gave me the mic, so now sing something. It's fun because at this point I was really discouraged when it comes to my own singing. And to be fair, I still am when it comes to specific styles and specific songs, because I'm aware what is expected of me, especially when it comes to university, and I have to sing in an area and a pop song, whatever. It has to be on an academic grade level. But when it comes to Ronsons, there are so many options to just sing songs you would never approach on an academic level, at least, and just completely play with your voice. And this is how the whole energy comes into play, and just go for random stuff and go for Britney on the one hand, and then you go for whatever Arch Enemy on the other day. You just go for random things.
Yeah,
And
I think it's a way to explore yourself, right? Because
definitely.
I try to not sing the same song twice. So like the next day it's like, how do I feel today? And one day I sing a lot of Muse, and then I try Take On Me for the first time, and I feel like, oh shit, I didn't know I could do that until
that's a great thing.
Put myself in this situation.
And depending how many times you will come to Monster Ronsons, at least that was for me the case, at some point you start to become a bit more self-aware. You're already past that point because you started to record yourself and check, okay, which note was great, which note wasn't great.
Yeah.
And then you can start to think, okay, if you go for the song not once, but like every third attempt at Ronsons, just to see how you develop the song, that's when the whole technical aspect comes into play. And this is why I'm visiting Monster Ronsons, even if I could sing in other occasions as well. Because you can easily go for so many people who can do harmonizing, so you can test your ability when it comes to singing a different vocal layer. You can just check out how you use your voice without destroying it completely when you have a gig or whatever on the next day. So it's a good teaching pool as well, if you want to call it like that. I mean, you could sing the whole night and next day everything is gone.
Yeah.
Or you just try to work economically. That's another pro.
I mean, the whole pop culture around karaoke is that people go there to make a fool of themselves.
Not all.
On movies.
Not all.
Like,
not all. But yeah, of course.
The stigma of it. But then once you start going there and seeing it on real time, you will add like a meaning to it, I think.
Definitely. But of course, there are so many people, and I consider myself one of them as well, who at least love to destroy songs. You just go off key, off rhythm, off anything, and
it's fun.
Exactly, it's fun because
it's freedom.
And no one judges you.
We destroyed All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Oh yeah,
together, and it was fun.
It was fun.
I didn't feel I was breaking anything, any rule. I felt like, okay, this is the place to do that.
Exactly.
It's like these activities like Axt werfen. Like people just go like throw a thing to a wall. It makes no sense. It's just the feeling of it. I think for me that's karaoke, and it's my new hobby. And also, that's the thing. Someone was asking me yesterday, like, what are your hobbies? And I was like, fuck, I don't know. Because most of the things I do them with a purpose, like music, video, writing. Even when I'm consuming movies or music, I'm absorbing it for my purpose in life. And then I started to think, okay, what do I do that serves no specific purpose, or it's just something silly? And it's like, okay, riding the bike and karaoke. It's just something where it has no purpose.
Isn't it sad?
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
There's something for everyone. There's always something.
Yeah, of course. When you
and
put it like that, but it's sad that when you break down what you actually do besides having your job and you being a father and everything, it's like what do you do with the time you have? And I mean, it's great that you found a hobby, but not many people have that anymore. That's also like a sad development because, okay, many people just go for social media and go for TikToks all over the place or Instagram and whatever these all new things are called. But they don't really pursue any kind of hobby like reading or just going out and going for sports or just going for a hike or whatever.
That. It's just necessary. I saw a discussion on Argentinian TV, and there was this guy who was saying like, being a fan of football is stupid because you as a fan, you say we won, but you didn't play, and it was just like 11 stupid guys kicking a ball and makes no sense. It's not productive. And the guy defending football said like, that's the point. It's meaningless. And I love it. And I love to go on Sundays with a bunch of people I don't know to just be meaningless and watch people, I don't know, fighting each other or doing football or whatever, running in circles. I don't care.
True.
Because it's really good to allow yourself in life to do meaningless shit that don't serve any purpose, but they're just feel
recharging.
good.
It's part of recharging at the end of the day because you need some time to recharge. You need to have a proper amount of sleep. You have to have a certain amount of relaxation throughout, especially hectic times in life, to stay productive because especially when it comes to your job and also mine, we have to be on point. We have to be there. We have to think about inconveniences which might happen. For instance, like today, the train is not coming. How do I come here, and so on and so forth. So sure, you need something to balance out these intense things, of course.
Yeah, but also, that's the productive side of it, right? Like, okay, it ends up being productive.
Yeah, of course, because
it's
you
not
don't do anything,
but
and
also,
this gives you time to
But
breathe.
also on the sense of what is life, I don't think life has to be covered by things that have a meaning and a purpose. Like, for example, skipping stones on the lake. What the fuck is that for? And it's just something you feel like doing, and it serves no purpose, and you were doing that. And it's I will never approach all activities as like, what is the purpose of it? Like, how do I justify this, right? Let's do things that have no justification. Like having a conversation. Like,
True.
Okay, we can frame it, okay, this is a podcast, this is for reach and putting out there. But for me, it's like, I like to take part on culture. True. Because if I don't speak with anyone, I'm not taking part of culture.
But then you have a purpose.
Very good. but you can always give a purpose to anything. Because karaoke, for some people, is just karaoke. And for us, it's like training ground.
Yeah.
But also, it's also being silly and be yourself and know other people. And being a fucking animal on this planet. Come on, it's anything. It's not everything has to serve a capitalistic purpose. And for me, I found that in karaoke. Because knowing myself, knowing others, and being there. Just being there. Like a bunch of hours every couple of weeks, like going to the bar and having a beer, like, or going to the football on Sundays.
True.
Whatever. Some people find that and like driving the car to work, like this 1 hour or something, and listening to radio. Just the driving, just like you're doing something. You're in the middle of a purpose from going from A to B, but you can allow that time, like that moment, like a loading screen on a video game, right? Like, okay.
Yeah, it's basically for your own well-being, and I think that's the main purpose when it comes to hobbies in general. You don't have this whole amount of pressure, like you don't need to be perfect, you don't need to achieve a certain level of excellence, because you allow yourself to just relax. Yeah. And this is what makes a hobby at the end of the day, because you don't need to strive for something like that, because as soon as you strive for perfection or any kind of level, it becomes work again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Like when I do gaming, for example, I know the feeling of playing a game, winning or losing, and I play them independently if I win or lose. So, of course, you have championships and like levels or things, achievements and rewards, but I don't do it for the rewards. The reward is doing it.
exactly.
The reward is just allowing yourself, like, hey, I'm gonna skip a stone. I'm gonna paint a figure. I'm gonna create a new Dungeons and Dragons map or whatever. Whatever the fuck it is. Just because, I mean, in our life, we have to work for things, the good things we want in life, right? But at the end, I think life is itself a goal with anything that it gives to you, whatever it gives to you. And sometimes it gives you achievement and professional stuff or money or like this type of scripted kind of description of achievement. But sometimes you just sit under a tree and it feels like an achievement.
Yeah.
And that's just life, the human experience of being alive and doing, like, being alive. It's a movie. It's a video game on itself. Just playing the game of being alive. You have missions, side missions, bonus levels, winning, losing, but just playing the game is the cool thing. Damn, we got deep.
Yeah, we just need to cover Matrix now. So we're all in the Matrix. We are all already in a game, and we're characters.
Once I read on the internet that, you know, those things, those silica bags that say "do not eat," that comes on shit.
Yeah,
they say if you eat that, you exit the Matrix. And that's why it says "do not eat it." Do you know anyone that ate it? The ones that ate it,
they're outside now.
They're not in the Matrix anymore.
Well, that's an interesting question as well. Would you prefer not being in the Matrix anymore?
I enjoy it.
You enjoy it. You wouldn't be proud now.
No, but there was a point when I was younger that I was I was just hard thinking on like the system and how to escape it and fuck capitalism, and I was smoking a lot of weed and I was spiraling into unhappiness, and I was spiraling on some kind of schizophrenic type of thinking that everybody wants to take something from you, and I was paranoid. So I started to say, like, let's just live, and there will be injustices, and there will be many things, most of things that are not in your control. What can I do? What things are in my control? And it's like this experience of life. What you can do, say, and how to behave, and how to be with others, how to be, I know, be kind. I think at the end, the experience of life comes from you to life. And it's not that life comes to you and you're receiving life, I think.
Okay. That's an interesting point.
You're giving life an input. That's why you get out of your flat. That's why you purchase stuff. That's why you go do hobbies. You're giving life an input.
Yeah, definitely. It becomes so philosophical now. I mean,
absolutely
interesting approach now. Okay. I didn't expect this to be part of this podcast. Okay, now, meaning of life. Okay.
No, it has no meaning. No. I think it doesn't have a meaning.
I mean, you can always make meaning for yourself. I mean, if it helps you to justify certain things you're doing, it helps. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, sure, it's a disclaimer, this is triggering maybe, but if you don't have anything which amuses you anymore, of course you could go for a complete definite solution, to put it friendly. But in the end of the day, I mean, when you work, when you live, when you just try to figure out who you are and how you develop from a certain age onwards, it's a fascinating process. And even if it's going to end a certain way, I think it's still worth experiencing the whole thing. And it's sad that many people, at least at one point, might think about a different approach. And this is sad, but this is why music and all these hobbies some people might have can help to get into a more happy and more lebensbejahend, you would say in German, like approach in life. So, and I think this is why at this point of my personality development, I pursue to become a teacher, because I think this is so important to talk about also the mental struggles, especially with teenagers, and they're still looking for how they identify, how they think about social constructs, politics, all these big things. And as a potential guide towards these young people, of course, you have to be a role model at some point, or at least when it comes to certain aspects of the whole thing. And especially when it comes to helping young grown-ups or teenagers to have a healthy approach in life. Music and German, I mean, in Germany, so that's why Germany is my second subject, might be a tool to help people to cultivate in different lanes, and also have more tools to interact with different cultures, different challenges. And that's why I'm studying right now.
That's great, man. Like, having to figure out what your main mission is on the game. I think also what you mentioned there with like helping younger people, I don't think the word is helping, but assuming your responsibility when someone is listening to you, when someone is looking up to you and seeking advice or knowledge on you, then you have that responsibility to do that, right? Because whatever you do, whatever choice you do, if you have someone paying attention to you, they will learn anyways. Even if you ignore them, they will learn something out of the interaction with you, even if you're not prepared. And you're choosing to be prepared. So that the learning that they're going to get out of you, it will be more, it will have more content. And you will be responsible of what did they learn from you. Because you can always learn from violence also. You can learn from bad experiences. But those are mostly out of intention or out of control, right? But educating yourself and trying to like assume responsibility of what are the learnings people take from interacting with you. That's something great you're doing.
That's a deep topic now. Yeah. No, but I think that's why I chose this path at the end of the day, because I had a complete different approach when it comes to my professional work, because I studied music management before and also worked in the field before Corona started, and that was a complete breaking point for me. Like, okay, I have to think about a different approach. And then, as you know, we talked about it before, like I worked in a healthcare center with older people and obviously confronted with death and all these things. I mean, it was a really helpful lesson, and I wouldn't change for anything the whole experience I had there. However, that sharpened, of course, my whole approach when it comes to life and the purpose of the whole thing, and also gives myself the responsibility I need to have, because if I want to become a good example of the teacher, I need to be responsible towards myself as well. And this is, I think, the most intense work someone could ever have. Because, yeah, of course, it's so easy to give good advice for people because you are always in position of an outsider. But as soon as it starts to tackle you, you need to be in charge of the whole thing. You need to be the person in control. And this is something I learn right now, even if I have something settled down, but there's so many challenges coming up. And yeah, this is where I can really learn. And based on experiences I will have throughout the process, I can give at least some hints how to solve potential issues people might have in the later approach in life.
Damn, I need to pee.
Back we are.
What's the microphone?
Oh.
What music are you listening to lately? Like today?
Today?
Yeah, what did you listen to?
I listened to the songs Charlotte will perform on Saturday. So it was... Oh, let me think. It was some Christmas songs.
Yeah.
It was also Rihanna. It was... Let me think. Heinz Rudolf Kunze. It's a German singer. Dein ist mein ganzes Herz. It's like a German rock song.
Huh.
And there's so many more. Leise rieselt der Schnee is the Christmas song. And
why are so many songs about the same topic? Christmas.
Name me 2 songs with the same topic when it comes to Christmas.
Okay, tell me more. Because
no, because
I don't know.
okay.
For example, the lyrics specifically.
Yeah,
It's like baby Jesus and the Stille side and
Stille Nacht.
Like, but I hear so many phrases that are repeating over and over.
But which phrases are you referring?
Okay,
I mean the topic, of course, might be the same, like Christianity, the birth of
but
Jesus.
I'm really asking from a place of curiosity because I cannot think of one Christmas song in Spanish.
You don't have Christmas song in Spain?
In Spanish, in general?
I mean, you have Feliz Navidad, but... okay.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, but that's all?
Yeah, I mean, in Christmas, for example, in Uruguay, it's a very atheistic country, like the most atheist country, I think, in the world or something.
Okay, but...
and we celebrate Christmas in the framing of the day of family.
Okay.
And we do the same shit. We do the Christmas tree, and the aesthetics are similar, but it's summer, so it has nothing of Stille. It's loud and party.
Okay. I mean, that's one approach of the whole thing.
But the thing is, the music we listen to has nothing to do with... It's just party music. And
fair enough.
That's it. And also, like, if you put TV, like normal TV, they have, like, video clips of classics of, in general, classics. So I got exposed to this whole Christmas culture here in Berlin.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of these Christmas films. Okay, there are Christmas films that you can see. And you can see as an outsider, as an alien, how people do Christmas where there's snow.
Yes. I mean, I'm still not getting the point of, like, what do you mean with all songs are the same? I mean, okay, let's try, for example, Leise rieselt der Schnee. That sounded really bad in German now. Leise rieselt der Schnee. I'm German, man.
You teach German.
Leise rieselt der Schnee. No, that's correct. It's just about the atmosphere. It's painting a picture.
Okay.
How the snow falls. And what effect it has.
Okay.
Of course,
Snow is awesome.
You have, of course, the component of Christianity coming up. Just like O du Fröhliche. However, Eau de Feuille here is a complete different topic in terms of what effect it has to the people who are in a complete devastating position at this point, but they will be released from all these additional pressure. So it's actually all about a cathartic element we are talking about.
Well, I think for North European, the Christmas thing is very... I think you're trying to make something good out of a very hard time in like winter, dark winter crops, and all of the like survival gets challenged, whereas in warmer countries, it's just like, yeah, the stars are looking weird and that's it.
Yeah,
but here it means like, oh shit, now we entered the phase where most people die of cold. Not now, but I mean in the traditional times, right? And there's nothing to do. Not even wars are fought. Dude, like they always paused for the winter because it made no sense to fight wars in winter.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because everything was getting frozen, shitty, like just standing outside for fighting. I mean, most of wars in like medieval wars and shit, most of the time you were waiting around. And winter, I think here has a very different meaning, and I think that's why it's so emotional and such a core thing here.
Yeah, of course. I mean, again, you have the whole Christian component, which is come into play. You also have, speaking in terms of the whole weather condition and all the occurring health challenges, there's a reason why so many people die during the winter time, because it's cold, the immune system gets more and more downgraded by all kind of bacteria and viruses and so on and so forth.
Depression comes in.
Exactly. And especially throughout that time, it's even more important for many people to have something they can look forward to happen. And Christmas, I guess so, is one of the main things. Like, that's one time where all family can be happy together and enjoy their respective company. And
but why?
Because
why does the family
I'm not the best person to talk about that aspect, but
I think it has to do like with, okay, winter is coming and maybe half of us will die, so let's get together and
one last time. Exactly. No, I think again, it's a cult. I think it is just something which is really culturally manifested in our DNA. I mean, I'm not the best role model when it comes to Christmas. I mean, I won't go for Baden-Württemberg to visit my family because I might have to work. I might have to prepare for study exams and so on and so forth. Of course, I will call them and so on and so forth. But I won't really visit because there are so many things to do. And especially throughout, you are aware of that, Christmas seasons, there are many opportunities to earn some side money with gigs, and everyone wants to go for this and that last minute.
Yeah.
And yeah, but when you think about... All good. No, but when it comes to Christmas in general, I think it's... because it's quieter and it's colder, people start to reflect more about certain things, at least when it comes to the traditional perspective of it. When you think about America and the whole, how do you call that? Mind blank for a second, sorry. The whole economical approach of Christmas and how you get loads of money throughout Christmas, the meaning is completely erased.
True.
I mean, just think about all the pricey chocolates you can get now and all the electric lights and all the interesting new packages or Christmas editions or whatever kind of product, it's great money at the end of the
and
day.
also now they added the black, how is it called?
Black Friday?
Black Friday.
Mm.
That's quite, like, come on, we already have Christmas for spending money, and now like Black Friday.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get more money out of something, why not? And that's the whole point about Christmas nowadays when it comes to that. But when we stick into the traditional things about Christmas, yeah, of course, for many people, I guess that's still the case. It's all about, finding some quality time.
Also, it feels like the whole repetition of the years, right? Like this cyclical aspect, and happening that we mentally think of this as the end, right? The end of this cycle around the sun, this cycle of crops, the economy, and of course in our modern lives, life goes on. It's still winter. People still go to jobs and whatever. Not really much changes besides it's cold and shitty. And you can also go fly, take an airplane and go somewhere warm. I mean, we have many options, but I think in the traditional sense, yeah, that's a moment where, farmers don't have much farming to do. You just chill and eat from the reserves of what you worked hard in the summer, right? And that's the time for spending with the family. Because you're chilling. There's no wars to fight. There's no swimming to do. Nothing. It's just about like you said, inside and talking and writing and whatever shit comes across, right?
True.
Damn.
So how will you spend Christmas?
Not Christmas, but the winter, right?
The winter in general. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, depending what job you have, you will have loads to do, or just can relax, or prepare probably for the next year.
I really like to take Christmas to really do nothing, like not even have a computer around, just nothing. You listen to music, drink alcohol, and sing karaoke, and that's it. That's my expectations about like Christmas and eating. Even the eating is not even important for me. Like if there's food, and if it's extra amazing food made with lots of effort, fuck yeah. But if it's like sausages and kartoffel, I don't care, because like there's something special about the aesthetics of Christmas. Like we put lights and we listen to specific songs with a specific aesthetic, and I think that's the most beautiful thing of the entire winter. Because after Christmas you have New Year's Eve, but then after that, what's there? After until Easter, just like now we're waiting. Now the rest of the winter is waiting for the good part of the year to arrive. But this welcoming of the winter doesn't feel like welcoming the winter, because after all of this partying and seasonal joy, you really want it to end.
I mean, if we would have been in Baden-Württemberg now, I would completely disagree, because we have Fasching, so the whole thing of carnival, I guess it's the right word, or Fastnet, there's so many different words for that, which is basically throughout February, February mostly.
Well, we have Carnival in Uruguay. That's the longest carnival in the world.
So that's what we have.
But it's in summer.
No, but that's why that's what we have in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically all right. Oh, I hope I say this correctly. So up to Aschermittwoch, we celebrate, and then we have this long period of absence. It's basically like the Ramadan. Basically, we're fasting, for 40 days, and then Jesus turned into Christ and our Savior, and then we celebrate again. So it's basically not.
Have you heard of the parallels of all of those meaningful Christian stuff and the just stars and the like?
What do you mean?
It's most of religious talk and writings is encoded knowledge. You tell a story that is easy to remember with characters and stuff, but actually there's some knowledge inside of it. For one example of it is, you remember this tsunami in 2004 that happened, and like
was it 2004?
I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm
in
but I'm
Thailand
aware.
or something. Right?
Yeah. I know what.
A fuck ton of people died, and there was an island around there that had like a uncontacted tribe. So after all of this happened, and like the government was checking on people, they went to check on those uncontacted tribes, and they were all good. They were all fine. Nobody died. Because they have a myth that says that when the water is going out, you have to climb up the palm trees because the goddess of whatever shit is angry and she is gonna clean everything. So one part is like, there's no goddess of whatever, she doesn't want to clean shit, but you climbed up the palm tree and survived. So that was encoded knowledge that is told generation after generation in a way to that's like also like Märchen, right? Like I think all of this scary Märchen shit has some knowledge, like, okay, Red Riding Hood, don't talk to strangers, period. And like Hansel and Gretel, like, don't follow your gluttony, it will put you in a hard places.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not studying theology, but of course you can interpret certain stories of the Bible as simple reminders of how you could act or should act towards a certain situation.
True.
And, you know, the whole biblical... I don't want to say something wrong. That's why I'm struggling with the words at this point, because I don't want to say something incorrect. No, but of
people
course,
will correct us.
Hopefully, but don't be too harsh. No, but especially when it comes to the whole, like, let's say for instance Moses, the whole Exodus story, I guess it's like the whole 10 plagues and why happened that. One way of seeing the whole thing is like, okay, God was tested, so he showcases what is the real deal here. On the other hand, you can see the whole thing in a complete different perspective and just ask why. Just why? Wouldn't it be more effectful if God just appeared and stated, look, that's the real deal, so... You know, you can do
also like it's also, again, it's the let me put a parallel now. If 3,000 years from now people analyze the rests of our society right now, and the only thing they find is Marvel comic books, and that's the only thing they have from us, then probably they will think Spider-Man was a thing. But why do we have Spider-Man or things like that? Is to communicate values. We have archetypes and we tell stories because we love stories, and the meaning of our life is having a story to be told about us and telling stories, and we fucking love stories. That was what people did on the fireplace in the night, told stories about the stars and whatever. And for me, Spider-Man tells a story of how to be selfless and how to be in service of your community. And that's an archetype, and the archetype guides you through different stories and legends that will teach you how to be selfless.
True. I mean, and you can see, again, I hope I'm correct now. You can see a several development when you compare like the Old Testament and the New Testament. I'm not that Bibelfest, let's put it like that, but at least I'm aware that it should be throughout the Old Testament where it's like Auge Auge, Zahn Zahn, you like if I do this.
Revenge is bad.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. Exactly. So that's like one aspect of the Bible. The whole other, like the New Testament, I mean, the first 4 chapters or books are about Jesus.
Yeah.
And there are many more to come, of course. But yeah, it's a complete different approach.
But also, like, for me, it's even like going back to the Spider-Man thing. I don't even care about the if Jesus as a historic figure existed or not, because it could be the Spider-Man of the moment. Like, hey, let's communicate some values of how to be an ideal person, like how to be the best that our society wants through this character. And even if it's real or not, that's an archetype. And now we also have real people who inspire generations, like, I don't know, Muhammad Ali or Malcolm X, or I don't know, many people. Or now we have artists that have interviews and they talk, and like, people like them. I don't know, like Jim Carrey, for example. We have them, and they are kind of like a modern type of messiah prophetic thing, because they say cool things that you could take as an inspiration for applying it to your daily life or your thought process.
That's one option, of course.
And that's why I was always like, I'm still like not religious at all, and I'm kind of reject the part of telling people what to do on a very like cutting way, right? Because at the end, if all of these organizations are around the holy scriptures, just teach the people how to read, and they will figure it out on their own.
Do you think? But do you think it's like the whole thing about being indoctrinated into a certain lifestyle is a dictated one? Because if I'm not
we're talking about institutions that take spiritualism and industrialize it. They're making money out of it.
But when it comes to the scripture itself, it's not really. At least I hope I don't say it wrong, because you have to look it up. Be critical, look it up. But as far as I'm aware of, it's always like about what you should. It's not you must.
Of course.
I think
if you go to the Quran,
it's a big difference. I think it's a big difference, even if when you go about the whole thought process of Confucius or whatever. It's all about one possibility. It's not you have to, or it's a must to do thing.
For you and me.
Exactly.
But for many
it's
centuries of people.
But this is what you interpret, but it's not written like that. And I think that's really crucial to be aware of that, because if the statement is you shouldn't do this and this, it's a complete different story.
But that's the point. That's what I mean. Like, teach people how to read, and they will figure out the message on their own. The problem is when there's someone out there preaching, which is interpreting, like saying that your interpretation of this is the thing, not this. But it's like, guy, let's make a book club, and let's all read, and let's all exchange. What do we reflect about? And what does this page of whatever does that? I don't like the preaching aspect. I don't like the prohibiting people to do this. I don't like the fact of like saying women shouldn't do this and that, and then people like following. I don't like this whole thing that women should wear all of this blackout thing. But at the same time, I understand that the like a part of all of these teachings and stuff is just like a code of conduct.
And you always have to take into account the historical context of the whole thing.
That's the thing.
Which makes things completely different.
Yeah.
If the Bible would have been written today, I'm pretty sure it would have a complete different approach. Yeah. Because we are now surrounded by technical advances they didn't have in first place. They would go for a complete different approach.
Well, I think
maybe they would be a replacement, Marvel comics.
I think a modern replacement of the role of the Bible in that sense are constitutions.
That's one possibility.
And they get updated, and laws. And I think, like how philosophy was before the science of everything. Like philosophy then branched out into mathematics, geometry, physics, chemistry. It just branched out into that. And I think that's kind of, from my perspective, religion was that first government and the first rule of law. And like there was this one book with some holy whatever stuff that told everybody in this community how to behave. And from that,
one way to say the whole
from
thing.
there, but from there you have like you can derive to philosophy, government, ethics. You can derive just absolute fiction also, and like you have many things you can take out of there. And still, we are creatures that are looking for answers the whole time, and that was also a supply of answers. And not every civilization of the world had scriptures about that. Sometimes it was just the old man telling stories about the sky, about the past, about wars, like just telling without writing. And once we figure out writing, some people were doing that. And damn, we got
far off.
I just wanted to know what music are you listening to, man?
Yeah, exactly. And now we're into Christmas and religion. I mean, I of course listen to sacrilegious music and sacred music as well, and it's all great to whatever. To
whatever music, like the shape of music right now, is a mixture of what the folk music was doing in secret, and also the development that the church was doing. The church was putting the science onto the music. I mean, all of those composers and astronomers and bunch of those were just getting money from the church to do that thing, do the art, like Michelangelo, all of these Renaissance people.
Yeah,
like,
but music was way earlier than the Christian approach of the whole thing. I mean, even in ancient Greece, you had the whole concept of music, but not as... Oh, this is like interesting, because we get into a topic I just started study, like music history. So back in the day, before Christianity at all, Greece, for instance, or the ancient Greece, was all about having a concept of music as... It wasn't even named music. It was like the combination of sound and dance and many different things at some point. So the whole thing about music just came into play way later, that they divided the whole thing, because music was a full experience. One pillar was the sound, the other pillar was dance, the other was whatever.
So it was like a ritual, right?
I wouldn't state it like that. I mean, I have to look it up one more time. But basically, music wasn't only sound at the beginning of the whole definition of music in this case. But sure, it developed throughout the centuries and over time to that. But yeah, now I'm making a complete fool of myself. I have to relearn these things. No, but back to the question, like what I am listening to, or maybe that's a better question, like how I was raised when it comes to music, because I think I had like three main pillars when it comes to music. My father, for instance, still listens to rock music and also German Schlager and Volksmusik. No, that's better. Then my mom, on the other side, she used to listen to a lot of reggae and like mostly Peter Tosh and Bob Marley, and a complete different music approach. Also, Hungarian folk music or Hungarian Schlager, like Zambo Jimmy, for instance. You won't know him, but it's like also a bit rock, but Schlager. It is an interesting mixture, and classical music actually just started to become really part of my personal life when I entered school, when I listened to die Vier Jahreszeiten by Vivaldi, and of course it was the autumn, the first segment of the autumn part of Vivaldi's 4 seasons, and I was hooked by that. And from there, the whole thing became more and more diverse, because at some point, of course, I experienced music from the pop style and also the metal style, and especially in Berlin, the whole thing became wild, like with all the EDM, techno, whatever kind of music, and it's basically complete immersive process to follow yourself, getting more and more surrounded by all different textures of music in the first place. I'm not sure how your upbringing was when it comes to music, but I think this is also something many people might have in common, that you start off like with 1 or 2 main influences, and then throughout the years you just develop a complete library of loads of music.
Well,
or genres,
my first
or whatever.
experience with music in life was Vivaldi, because my mother saw on TV or something that you should put classical music to babies in the belly. So she did that a lot of that, and then one of my oldest memories was just getting up and grabbing the CD and putting it into the radio, and then just like and she had like a CD of just greatest hits of classical music, and I was just jamming to that. But then, like, the environment of music in my house was, my father was listening to a lot of folklore, and my mom was listening more like to Brazilian music and cumbia and radio hits and stuff. Then I had an aunt. She listened to U2, Lenny Kravitz.
Okay.
And I have an uncle who listened to... Then before all of those influences, I had a cousin. When I was 4 years old, he was living with my grandma. And he had CDs and a radio player. And I just went through it. Like, he had, 100 CDs. I just took the ones that visually caught my attention. And the first one was an AC/DC CD, where the guitarist is there when there's like thunder coming out of him, and it's all blue, and I was like, wow, that looks kick-ass. And I put it, and it was AC/DC, and I liked it. But then the second one was an album that was just black.
Okay.
Fuck yeah. That kid got into Metallica with 4 years old, and it was my choice. I just went through it, and then like the image, say like, I want to listen to that, and then Enter Sandman kicked in.
Okay.
The Black Album of Metallica, and I listened to that from beginning to end like a million times as a kid.
Interesting. So
then
you've been influenced
after
with
that, like my aunt
age.
had music. Like she is a big fan of U2, and then came MTV, and then just bombarded me with shit.
What kind of shit? Now I'm curious.
Well, I remember the very day where they were putting cable TV on my house. I say I was 7 or 8 or 6. I don't know. There. I remember the moment I was just like standing in front of the TV, and the guys were like putting the cables here and there. I was just standing in front of the TV, waiting for the moment where whatever this is, and I didn't know what it was.
Okay.
I just knew there were like men working at home and putting an antenna. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with my TV. And until then, the TV for me was like, I was watching some cartoons, and I was watching some entertainment, like game shows for kids, and that's it. And then, suddenly you have like a fuck ton of options. And I think there were like 20 new channels or something. So I started like, bah, 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 bah. And then, like, there was one with music, and they were playing a video clip of Ricky Martin.
Okay.
Private Emotion.
Okay.
great song. And that was the first thing MTV brought to me. And then just like, I don't know, The Offspring, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, System of a Down, more Metallica.
So you were lucky. You were lucky because the first experiences I had when it comes to MTV was a bit more disturbing.
What?
No, I was. Taking into account, I was listening to classical music, and I was getting MTV, and the first thing I saw was like, let me try to remember. K2 Berg ruft. It's like a really trashy Euro dance number, really weird. That was my one of the first experiences of MTV, and I was like, this is something. Also Scooter. I mean, I love it. I love it now, but it was a complete. What the fuck?
I mean, I was exposed to Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys.
Then you were lucky.
I was getting the good MTV.
Yeah. And then it was just by
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. We can talk about her in a second. No, but it was interesting because by accident, at one point, I also had like a great revelation when it comes to MTV. Bootylicious by Destiny's Child.
Ooh!
3 women, good looking, gorgeous voices. And I was like, ooh, okay.
You got introduced to R&B.
Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly. And especially when thinking about, okay, how did they get the sounds? I, of course, also did my own researches back in the day, and you go to the bigger names like Aretha Franklin and Etta James, and also really great singers you never hear about them today, although they have great voices like Lisa Fischer, for instance. She's an exquisite singer, still sings today, and she had only one huge commercial album. Also won a Grammy and whatever, and she is a killer. She is a killer when it comes to singing, and that was the time I was trying to search for new heights and new extremes in music, and then whenever it came this whole 3-part harmonizing of Destiny's Child, or the Viscerages of Mariah Carey, which sing above this F of the Queen of the Night and whatever. Exactly. And I was like, okay, you can even sing higher than that and whatever. And yeah, metal was another extreme I discovered some years later, but that was interesting for me to just discover these crazy elements of new music. And I mean, I've been lucky at the end of the day because I allowed myself to be confronted with the music and not be completely, that's too much for me. But yeah, of course, first of all, it was a shock. But after digging into the whole thing, it became more and more interesting. I remember back in the day, whenever Marilyn Manson's version of Tainted Love came out.
Ooh, yeah, Marilyn Manson, you love that shit.
I mean, I was a bit confused, but
because of the visuals.
Exactly. However, it was weirdly
what a great album,
entertaining. And a couple of years later, I mean, I'm pretty sure the book was out even before that, but at some point he published The Long Hard Road Out of Hell, like his autobiography, but it was written with another person. And I was like, maybe I should, to come back to religion and spirituality, I was like, maybe I should buy this book and take some of the chapters as a potential presentation topic for religion. And it was interesting because I I just watched Bowling for Columbine. And there was this little segment of the interview about him.
Such a good speaker, man.
And this was when I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Like, yeah, I mean, what was the question? Like, what would you have said to the persons who committed the whole the whole attack or whatever, the shooting? Thank you. And I think it was something like, I wouldn't say anything. I would just listen, and nobody did. And that was like, okay, this guy is interesting. And then I
He's a great
looked up the
philosopher.
book. I read the chapters, and really interesting person. I mean,
I feel really touched by his words. Like wherever he's speaking seriously on interviews or on programs or like stuff, like giving his opinion, I feel like he's an anchor of thought. Like, okay, because everyone is performing, and everyone is like doing the marketing for like TV and blah blah blah. But then he goes there and just like spits wisdom.
Yeah, and I mean, he's still, let's put it mildly, a controversial figure. Not as much today as he was a couple of years before, but I mean, he has some things to say, and I appreciate that. And this is something I also learned throughout the years, that it doesn't matter how a person looks like or how you think about the music. There is a certain amount of work and a certain amount of knowledge these people put into their craft to make it accessible for a certain demographic. And this is something when you think about like a Jennifer Lopez. Yeah. I mean, she. I mean, why do you? Okay, why do you listen to Jennifer Lopez, or at least appreciate her performative qualities? Let's put it like that.
She's hot, and the thing was that I said this some days ago to someone who doesn't like pop. I said that 2000 had great songs in this, like individual songs. I'm not saying that a band or a project or an artist was like perfect from beginning to end, but there are great songs in the discography of Britney Spears, of NSYNC, of Backstreet Boys, of Michael Jackson, of Jennifer Lopez, of Christina Aguilera. If I put an album of any of those, I will not listen till the end. I will pick up couple things. So all of those together as a group of artists, I really appreciate, because there were great producers and composers writing the shit for them. They were just there, like they were just the face and voice of the project, but there's actually like a laboratory thing from other people who you don't see. They get all of the money and the awards, but you see the Backstreet Boys, but the composers are not there. And Jennifer Lopez had this song for the 2000s. Waiting for tonight.
You're aware that this is a cover, right?
No. Then before that, after that, like my, how was it? I don't know the text. Like your gold won't buy my love, or how is it?
If you had my love. Love don't cost a thing. You mean? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my love don't cost a thing.
Great song.
Yeah, I mean, I think what many people experienced back in the day was the representation of a Latina on a extreme level of stardom.
Yeah.
And I think that played a huge role when it comes to the impact Jennifer Lopez had back in the day.
Well, for the I think Jennifer Lopez had a bigger impact on the whites, because from the perspective of Hispanic culture, we had our own reference, and for example, for me, that what you just mentioned for me, Thalia.
Okay.
Or we also had like our own type of, I don't know, Celia Cruz. And also in each country you have your individuals.
Yeah, but I think it was relatively new that
everybody knew who she was, Jennifer Lopez, and everybody know
exactly. That's what I meant. Like when it
put
comes
on your
to
face.
Exactly, and it was highly successful because it was shaped into a certain way of how it should sound.
We also have Shakira.
Yeah, but she was way later.
Sure. Yeah. But Shakira at the beginning was also like a big, like, she was our Alanis Morissette type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that she had actually like an unplugged as well.
Yeah.
At the age of 14 or 15, I'm not sure. But she has black hair back in the day. That was her.
Black and red.
Black and red. Yeah, you might know that better. But she was relatively young before she came out with Whenever, whatever the song was.
Yeah.
No, but I think, that was what Jennifer Lopez made so big. And of course, especially nowadays, you have the whole debate what she actually sang and what she didn't sing, because that's like a huge controversial story when you dig into that topic. It's interesting, but I don't want to spoil anything. No, and I mean...
Okay, she was more like a... What you mean is like she was more like a celebrity kind of thing. A celebrity as a thing, right? As the Kardashians. And,
No.
Like presented as a music act.
I mean, she was... If I'm not I mean, she started off as a, if I'm not mistaken now, as a background dancer for Janet Jackson, if I'm not mistaken. Also, she had like her breakthrough moment when she portrayed Selena. Now You Can Help Me. Not Selena Gomez, of course, but the other one. The huge Latina star who was murdered by her...
I mean, she's a good actress, Jennifer Lopez. That's for sure.
Yeah, and she portrayed this other Selena, and it was like a biography or a biopic, and that's why she gained more traffic in general, and that's why she pursued afterwards her music career.
Oh,
and that was like the backstory, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm not sure how. What is the second the surname of Selena? Like a huge figure in the Latin music community. She was like a.
Let's Google it.
Yeah, Google that. Selena.
144 appearances in movies.
Yeah, and one of the first was actually this.
1986. Damn! Wait, so many movies. Okay.
It was one of the first, if I'm not mistaken.
My Little Girl, Richard Rogers, Samantha Fox, but Janet Jackson.
No, the movie was called, I think, Selena. But the question is, which Selena? Because I don't have...
Here, Selena, Siempre Hace Frío.
Yeah, and she portrays the title character, and the title character is based on the famous Selena. I think we keep...
Selena was born in Lake Jackson, Texas, 50 miles southeast from Houston to whatever, and the mom and dad. He opened a Mexican restaurant, Papagayo, in Lake Jackson. Selena was 9 years old when her father discovered her talent for singing. He formed a band consisting of Selena on vocals, her brother on bass, her sister on drums. The group called Los Dinos after a band...
And what's her surname?
Her name?
Yeah, her second name, her family name.
Quintanilla.
Thank you. This is... I couldn't pronounce that. Again, anyway, she was actually killed by her manager or something like that. Like a really tragic story.
On March 31st, 1995, Selena was murdered by Yolanda Saldivar, her friend and president of her fan club.
Ah, okay, president of her fan club, exactly.
Wow.
And that was the breakout role for Jennifer Lopez.
Wow.
I think she also...
watch it.
I think she also was nominated for a Golden Globe or something, like a huge prize.
I will check that out.
And that's how she became like really, she's marketable. She played an heroic or at least a legendary character based on this sad life story. And then she was promoted into music.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, if she really is singing all her stuff, that's debatable. Let's put it like that.
Let's round it up.
We lost track completely.
No, but it was...
At some point, we will go for a more structured...
Yeah, I mean, I think it was... Look, why did I start this podcast adventure? I wanted to have this type of conversations without a phone and without a social event.
Okay.
And without alcohol. I mean, alcohol is optional always, but you know, like it's really hard to sit down 2 hours and talk.
Well, it's definitely a challenge.
And most of the time, I think in every chapter, at the end, I always have the feeling like I wish to have another session of those, because like the amount of things that are unexplored in the talking, like and
Definitely.
in 2 hours you cannot cover all of the interesting things about the world and
True.
like this.
True.
So yeah, I have the same feeling. I hope we can have in a couple months a second one and see what's
We
up.
should actually try this whole because that might be really interesting also for
Creating of the song. Absolutely.
like going maybe not like a challenge, but just going for individual approaches of how to write the lyrics down, how you compose, how you.
Let's decide on that now. I would say let's create a Christmas song, because
Something I would never do. Okay,
No,
but
because-
it's fun.
because after we were talking about that, I came into like to understand the feeling of like, oh wow, like winter is coming, we might all gonna die, let's get together one more time. In winter is a time for reflection, there's no crops, and like I feel that needs to be put on words and music and stuff. So let's decide on that.
So when's the time?
Topic is already that.
Yeah, Christmas. Yeah.
Christmas song, and about all of this reflective, dark, traditional part of it.
Okay. Deep.
You have to
sad.
sing it.
I
And
have to
I
sing
have to sing it. I like each sings their song version. Maximum 3 instruments besides the vocals.
Okay.
And all of those instruments have to be performed by you. Even though you can play MIDI, whatever. You know?
Oh, okay.
It has to be like performances of instruments.
Okay.
Maximal duration 4 minutes. And a classical song structure.
Okay.
Like song, like
And we go for that, like
Intro.
in real time, like we document like in real time, like you writing your stuff, I writing my stuff,
Yeah.
and then after like 15 minutes or whatever, we just compare. Okay,
Yeah,
this is what I have. This is
also,
what. Okay, interesting.
We will have 3 hours
3 hours
to do the
okay.
songwriting,
Okay.
to figure out the song structure, chords,
Okay.
melody, and text.
Okay.
Then, once we cross that checkpoint, we tell
It's
each
over.
other,
Mhm.
and then we do the production together
Okay. For both songs.
for both songs.
Okay. And then we have this whole thing for next year's Christmas season and make money out of it.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the whole thing. Okay.
How did they get rich?
You know, that's what we do. We become rich